ahead and stand on that side right in there.
And it's okay for me to do this?
Yeah, we'll put you in the middle. That way they can take the weight off the ends for you. Yeah, absolutely.
Captain, thank you so much for being here.
Certainly.
Thank you.
You can do quick prayers here for everybody, or you can do them on here.
Keep going. Okay.
Easy.
Then we're going to unfold the flag.
Wait, come here.
And then as he's pushing it, pallbearers, if you'd like to place your hand on the casket, and he'll guide the casket for you.
Go next to Alex. And then this one come here. What?
Everyone can follow right after the Navy. Yeah, if everyone wants to start filing in, we just got to keep the middle aisles clear. If we could just keep the middle a little bit more clear, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So, good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of myself, the director, and the staff here at the Sacramento Valley National Cemetery, I offer you my sincere condolences. Welcome. It is our honor to serve our veterans and their loved ones. Shortly, we're going to proceed with the military honors portion of the service. During the playing of taps, I ask that you please rise and place your right hand over your heart. If you are a current or former service member, then please render a proper hand salute. There will be rifle volleys today, so if you have sensitive hearing, don't be ashamed to cover up ears. And now it is my honor to introduce the U.S. Navy Honor Guard.
Ready? Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. And hut. Dead. Base.
be seated.
The Consul General of Korea. And then after him, I will also speak. You just have to go after the right. Yeah, just tell them when.
On behalf of the President of the United States Navy, and a grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of your loved one's loyal and faithful service.
I would like to introduce American Legion Post 77 from Woodland, California.
Present arms. Order arms. Right face. Forward march.
Symbol of your loved one's dedicated service.
On behalf of the Department of Veteran Affairs and this grateful nation, please accept this Presidential Memorial Certificate in honor of your loved one's service.
Consul General, your turn.
Ambassador for Peace, Irving Friedman. It is a great honor and pleasure to express the everlasting gratitude of the Republic of Korea and our people for the service you and your countrymen have performed in restoring and preserving our freedom and democracy. We cherish in our heart the memory of your boundless sacrifices in helping us reestablish our free nation. In grateful recognition of your dedicated contributions, it is our privilege to proclaim you as an ambassador for peace with every good wish of people of the Republic of Korea. Let each of us reaffirm our mutual respect and friendship that they may endure for generations to come. Thank you very much. Certificate of Appreciation presented to Irving Friedman. The Republic of Korea respectfully extends its deepest gratitude to recognize you and your valorous service and selfless dedication to the freedom and peace of the Korean Peninsula. Your immense contributions during the Korean War have significantly impacted on the democracy and prosperity that the Republic of Korea enjoys today. Your bravery, sacrifice, and commitment to duty are honored, remembered, and heartfully appreciated by the Korean people. Thank you very much.
This is a certificate of appreciation. United States Navy World War II and Korean War veteran Irving Friedman. On behalf of our grateful nation, we thank and honor you for your service, valor, and sacrifice. You answered our beloved country's call to duty and proudly served with patriotism, distinction, and honor. We also thank your family and friends for the sacrifices they made during and after your military service. You are an inspiration to all service members, veterans, and Americans. May you eternally rest in heavenly peace, and may God always bless your family. Signed by myself, Nestor Aliga, Colonel, U.S. Army retired, and oh, by the way, we were classmates in high school. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for coming today to honor the memory of Irv Friedman. I'm Kim of a poet. On your paper, we will now say the 23rd song. And so the first page is, I'm going to put this down. Is a picture that I took of Irv and I saw him in February. We used to visit each other. So I will need you in the 23rd song. You go ahead first.
I shall not want. God makes me lie down in green pastures. God leads me beside still waters. God restores my soul. God guides me in straight paths for God's name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Irv recently told me that his secret to long life was attitude and determination. In the span of his long lifetime, I was only a friend for a short period, but in my presence, his attitude was always positive, and he was determined to do what was right and what needed to be done. I think my father would have called him a real edge. To me, his attitude and determination are a real inspiration. Irv's life centered around the love of his family, service to his community, and service to our country. I asked him once what kept him going, and he said it was his family. They were for him, and he wanted to continue to be there for them. Whether making a living as an insurance agent or running a service station, he did what he needed to make certain that his family had what they needed. It was really something to see how his face lit up when he talked about his beloved Alma. They were apparently quite a couple. Irving and Alma spent a lot of time at the synagogue. It was their community. Irv worked at the synagogue of buildings, and he kept the physical plant working. Alma was leader in the sisterhood. When we were still living in Vallejo, Irv and I often went out for lunch together. Most recently in Sacramento, we went out for milkshakes. The picture of in the front is me and with him having a milkshake. He often introduced me as his lady friend. I got some good looks for that. He always asked me about my family and how my son was doing, and he knew what was going on with my son's studies. He was sharp up until the end. I took the picture of Irv when we were out there together in February, and you can see in the photo that he was very proud to be in the Navy. He joined up as soon as he graduated high school to fight in World War II. He valued and fought for our country's ideals and freedoms. Irv's life was one of mitzvot, doing the right thing. Thank you, Irv Friedman, for being a patriot. Thank you for even more for being our friend. We always miss you. May your memory be able to all of you. We have a couple of people in the family who want to talk, and then we have a couple more prayers.
Max,
Yeah.
Max, did you want to?
Max,
Sure.
his grandson's going to talk.
So I wrote my grandpa. I wrote a Facebook status to honor my grandpa. So I'm going to read that now. I'm a fighter. I want to live. Those were my grandpa's last words to me. After 98 and a half years on this planet, my grandpa of Leo, went to go meet my grandma on January 1st after being separated for 11 years. He was a Navy veteran and one of the last from World War II. He loved serving in the military and would always talk about his time in the Navy with me. He loved cars. Two sayings he taught me that we would always end our phone calls with were, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, and when there's a fork in the road, you take it. Every time. Every time. Grandpa Leo, I'm so glad I got to spend almost 32 years of my life with you. You taught me so many life lessons. I hope you're having Skittles in heaven. By the way, you raised one hell of a son, who I call my dad.
You want to speak now?
I'll wait till the reception.
Okay. I'm going to play.
Yes, I did.
You
Yes,
want-
I do. I'd like to thank a few people. There are a lot of people here, but there are a few in particular who helped my dad live 98 and a half years. I'd like to thank his caregiver. First Maria. I want to thank Maria Espinoza. She took care of my dad in Vallejo, and she allowed him to stay in his house up until the time he was 96 and a half years old. That was 2 years ago. So Maria, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And then the other person I need to thank is Dina Biscos. She took care of my dad for the last 2 years at her care facility in Sacramento. She nursed him back to health. She nursed him back to health, and because of her and her care, he enjoyed the last 2 years of his life. He was physically strong. He was able to get in and out of bed. He was feeding himself. He was eating nutritiously. He was joking around with Dina. She really made his life a joy in these past few years,
And one thing he always liked is when she walked into his room wearing a green shirt that said pink. Also, I'd like to thank you, Jan, for putting this, for being here today and helping to organize the reception at the temple that we've been at for over 60 years. Two other people, Johnny Young. I want to thank him for being a lifelong friend, a friend of my father, and he really helped us out when my dad went to a care facility for a few weeks several years ago, and the facility wasn't that. So thank you, Johnny. One last person is the person who brought my dad to Dina, Lisa, and I'm sorry, I don't recall your last name. She was the person who found Dina, and thank you very much for that. Thank you. And lastly, I want to thank the Republic of South Korea for being here today and honoring my father. I'm speechless.
So I'm going to play a recording of traditional prayer.
Can I give a speech?
Yes.
El Malay
Oh.
coming.
You'd like to give a speech?
We don't have much time. You can come to, we have about 5 minutes left. Okay.
So we can give, let's do this now. Let's have him give a speech and then
Okay.
we'll. Yes,
We'll do
let's-
whatever
Yes, let's do
you like.
this. Thank you very much.
It's not very long.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very honored to stand here with a heavy heart to honor the memory of the late Irving Friedman. As a Korean diplomat, it is my really great privilege and to convey our special thanks to his noble dedication. When Korea was having a hard time in 1950, when the communist North Korea invaded the South, millions of American soldiers came to the Korean Peninsula to defend the freedom and democracy of Korea. A small country that they have never heard of, even the name of it. Without their sacrifices, Korean people could not have lived in a democratic and prosperous Korea now. The Republic of Korea could rise as one of the major economies and also one of the vibrant democracies of the world. Irving Friedman was already an honorable war veteran of the Second World War when he was called back to active duty for the Korean War in 1950. During the Korean War, he served in the U.S. Navy vessel that carried and transported fragment underwater demolition teams. There are numerous battles where the U.S. Navy has made significant victories. One of the most outstanding victory was Incheon Battle in September 1950, where the UN forces made a successful amphibious landing operations. The battle in Incheon resulted in a decisive victory and strategic reversal in favor of the UN forces. As a post-war generation myself, his service has also impacted my life. I'm deeply indebted to his invaluable sacrifice. In September 1950, most part of the Korean Peninsula was occupied by the North Korean army, except the southernmost province. My hometown was located just 1 mile away from the last defense line. The Incheon battle reversed the war situation and my hometown could be saved. Sometimes I think to myself, what would my life have been if there had not been the noble sacrifice of our war veterans? If North Korea had crossed over the last defense line, at least one thing is sure, I must not have stood here today. On behalf of my government and Korean people, I'd like to thank you deeply. I once saw a TV interview with one of the Korean War veterans who visited Korea later in his life. In the interview, the older veteran was watching Korean people joyously talking to each other with smiles on the streets. It suddenly occurred to him that Korean people are now enjoying peace and prosperity because of his dedication and service. The older soldiers got heartened and moved to tears. It was the very moment when the older soldier could find the meaning of his life. I'm sure Irving Friedman must have felt the same if he visited Korea again. The time he spent in Korea during the war must have been the most satisfying years because he knew he was doing the right thing for the right people and at the right place. Korean War is often called as a forgotten war. However, Korean people will never forget the sacrifice of our war veterans. We will remember those heroes who fought for the freedom and democracy of Korea. Lastly, I'd like to express my deepest condolences to the bereaved families, including Howard Friedman. Irving Friedman will be remembered as a great man who has lived and worked for honor and dignity during his whole life. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
So we have 2 minutes of prayers. We have 2 minutes of prayers, are we okay? So let's read them together. The first one is at the bottom of the first page. El Mai, Raham in English. I'll do it to the Hebrew. It's quite easy. O God, full of compassion,
grant perfect rest under the wings of your presence to our loved one, Irving Friedman, who has entered eternity. Master of mercy, let him find refuge forever in the shadow of your wings, and let his soul be bound up in the bond of eternal life. The eternal God is his inheritance. May he rest in peace, and let us say, Amen.
And Morning Scottish, please rise. Please stand up. You can. Side face for east.
Yiparach v'yishtabach yipar v'yitamam say Yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalam shemei v'yudashah v'yitahut Leilam v'yikol v'yitata shirata Tushkata v'nechamata Ram yamam v'imru amen Yehesh lama rabba v'yishamaya V'chaim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru amen Shalom bin Ramah, Buddha Shalom, Aleinu Yalkol Israel, V'imru, Amen.
The interment site will be ready today by 4 p.m., at which point you can view it. The cemetery is open 365 days a year from sunrise to sunset. On behalf of myself and the staff here at the Sacramento Valley National Cemetery, I'd like to thank you all for your attendance and wish you safe travels home. Thank you.
For the burial.
Just wait out there.
On the back of the paper here, it's not everybody has a paper.
Yeah, just wait over there. So this concludes the services. On behalf of the family, they'd like to thank you for being here today. If you wish, they do have a reception at the Congregation of B'nai Israel Vallejo. It's on the back of your paper if you have it. It's 1256 Nebraska Street in Vallejo. So if you'd like to head there at this time, you're welcome to do so, and the family will be there shortly. Thank you.
Tennessee exit from 80.
There you go.
Great memories.
Okay. All right. So,
Do you mind
Nestor?
want to take a family picture? I can take a family picture.
oh,
with you.
that'd be great. Let me just mention a few things, and then we'll do that. Okay. Okay. See you. Thank you.
So you went to school with her? Huh?
Okay. So,
Really?
relatives. Oh yeah, just like that. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, my dad taught me. I really liked it. Talked about me.
Martin Gaywing. Good to be seen again.
And I'm his wife Cheryl. So, Mickey Betty and I went up to see him. That's why I gave him the lifetime membership. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yes, we did.
Yeah. It was really cute. It was really sweet.
Oh, good.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you again. Didn't know what to say. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. 98 and a half years. I sure did. I sure did. Thank you so much.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
See you back at the ranch.
And you're Rosanna's husband.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I didn't realize you were going to speak, so I was worrying about time and stuff. But thank you. That was really great. Great.
It was wonderful.
Yeah,
I visited my son was the same way.
You know, if you're walking with your dog, yeah. Well, we did a lot of things there. Yeah, he was amazing stuff. Yeah, Howard and I went to high school together. We played tennis. So we've stayed in touch more in the last 5 years than the previous 4 years. I live in Vallejo. We'll see you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. So, can we just? You are?
Thank you so much. I know you have.
What's his position again?
Consul General of the Republic of Korea. Here, let me give. You want to take a picture of this business card? So that you have a record of. I also mentioned it to Director Ashley. So, thank you so much. I'll see you this morning. Okay. All right.
We found out that you heard about the 6 AAA. Oh, yeah.
We all. Okay.
And his grandmother was
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, take care.
Okay.
Nestor, thank you so much. We'll see you at the reception.
Yes, we'll see you at the reception.
Thank you.
God bless. Thank you so
Hi,
much.
I am Lynn. I'm Howard's wife.
Oh my God!
Yes.
I am so sorry. I
No, that's
didn't
okay.
even get
We
a
didn't.
chance.
You didn't get introduced.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so
for
much.
everything.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I know who you are.
Yes, ma'am.
Howie's little sister.
Yes.
How you doing? Thank you so much.
Thank you
You've
so
done so
much.
much.
You
You've
know.
things that you've done for him have made my dad just
Yeah.
really, really happy. So I'm just glad to hear
Thank you
that.
so
And I
much.
think I went to
I'm
school
just
with your
glad that we
sister.
could
I think
be-
I was in your sister's class.
Oh yes, yes. And
Yeah,
he was.
pickleball. Yeah,
That's right.
pickleball and
Oh,
tennis.
no, tennis. Yeah. Okay, we'll see you over there at the synagogue.
Howie in high school.